Hello Virgo, this is Victoria from Mindful Bamboo and I'm here with your November tarot forecast. As always, we'll be looking at your love life, at your career and workspace, and we'll get you some guidance on how to best utilize the energies of the months of November. At the end, I'll pull some messages in love for you from the Love Oracle deck. And we'll start, as always, with an oracle message. Today, I'm going to be using the Whispers of the Ocean. So, I hope you guys are doing great. If you haven't heard, there is a chance to enter sweepstakes and win a free personal reading with me. All you need to do is to be subscribed to the channel and leave at least 5 comments under any of my videos. And that account will be entered automatically. I will announce the winners on the 3rd of November. Alright, there are not too many participants, so you have very good chances, I would say, if that's something that's of interest to you. And of course, this reading is a general reading, so take only what resonates for you and leave what doesn't. If you like what I'm doing, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Alrighty, so your oracle message is safe and surrounded by love. Look at all those dolphins. It's a very cheerful card, I would say, especially if you've been around dolphins in real life, you would understand what I mean. Keep your heart open and know you're being protected. Listen to what you know to be true and allow yourself to see and understand what is going on around you. Yes, that's a very important part of it. Allow yourself to see and understand what's going on, right? So on the one hand, it's important to feel safe. You are protected. There is nothing to worry about. You know, it's important to ground yourself in that space. And then from there, it's going to be a lot easier to see and understand what's going on and, you know, the details about the situations that you are in and people, places, and situations, basically. There we go. By the way, happy Diwali to anyone who celebrates. Also, in Christian tradition, we just had All Saints Day, and in Mexico we have Day of the Dead. In Celtic tradition, we have Samhain. So, whichever holidays you celebrate at this time, happy holidays. So, one card flew out right away, and it's the Empress. Wow, that's the strongest energy of the reading, especially since it jumped out like that. We'll talk about it some more, but I would just say this is a lot of power and potential. You know, and the Empress is like the queen of all queens, right? So she's got all the elements, all the resources, right? It's like there is that wild potential that needs certain direction. And I feel like that's why Empress is actually a earth sign. You know, it corresponds to Taurus energy, right? It's a Venusian energy as well, because it needs to be grounded into something earthly, into the practical space, into the reality. Of course, you could be dealing with a Taurus. Then we have the Hierophant, that's another Taurus card, just saying. And the King of Pentacles, which is an earth sign. Taurus is going to be one of those. And then, of course, it could be a Virgo or a Capricorn. For your career space, and I'll talk about it some more after I lay out all the cards. We have the Strength for your career space. That's Leo. You could be dealing with a Leo. We have Knight of Wands. All right. We see Page of Wands. And the Advice, 9 of Cups. 4 of Swords. And the High Priestess. This is Pisces energy. High Priestess is another very strong feminine archetype in tarot. It just generally is also about this, but the difference is with the High Priestess is a deeper spiritual knowledge, sacred knowledge, understanding the meaning of life and, you know, concepts and flows, all of these things. But it's, you know, the point is, especially since it is in your reading, that this is the potential that you have and you can see those things naturally, you know. Maybe that's why you don't pay attention to them. That's what I'm hearing for you. Bottom of the deck, Six of Swords. So right now, to me, that's also travel to safety. Travel to a safe harbor where you can relax, you can breathe out, and you can get out of the survival mode. And then you have capacity to acknowledge the spiritual potential and move into that direction, or to explore your creativity and start expressing yourself that way. Because when you're in the hustle of just doing and moving and getting somewhere, a lot of times there is no capacity for this kind of things. They just don't really exist in the survival mode. They're not part of that worldview, let's put it that way. Okay, so for your career, for your love life, yeah, there's definitely strong Taurus energy. There's also strong partnership energy. And Hierophant and Empress aren't really partners, I wouldn't say that. But they are both about it. The Empress is like the queen, the queen of the kingdom, you know, the head of the household, all of these things. Hierophant could also be about long-term commitment, about making things public, making things serious, you know, also about saying vows, you know, in the presence of the divine, things like that. So very much about like since we're talking about love, taking things to the next level, right? And the King of Pentacles, of course, is someone who is, you know, has serious intentions, because they are already an established person in their right, and doesn't have to be male by gender, so take it how it resonates. And of course, based on what energy you are, it could be you actually, or it could be your person that you have on your mind. If you're single, then this is you, right? But this is a serious person, right? It's somebody who's built themselves a certain reputation, a certain position in society, you know, they have some life experience, and they know what they want based on that, you know. And look at this huge pentacle, and also there's like a box of gold here. So they have resources, they have a lot of them, they know how to make a lot of them out of nothing. But they are being cautious about sharing it. They want to make sure that they have a worthy partner, someone who's not just going to spend it all quickly, but someone who will cherish both, you know, the person who has made this kind of name for themselves, and also, of course, the resources that they've been earning, that they've worked very hard for. So definitely what I see in the cards is someone or something serious is coming up in terms of the relationship. And to me, I feel like you are ready for it. Like you want this, you know, it's something that you've been manifesting consciously or unconsciously. But the asterisk here is, if it's been unconscious or subconscious, then are you going to be ready when this person arrives? Are you going to respond to their courtship or them wanting to communicate, right? That's the question. And we'll get you some guidance and love, of course, towards the end. But this is basically for you to decide. That's what I'm hearing. You're kind of like on the crossroads here. And you can be taking different timelines based on what your decision is, what you decide is the next priority, the next step for you. For your career space, we have the Strength, the Knight of Wands, and the Page of Wands. So there is a lot of passion and desire to prove yourself, to show yourself. But I get that this is more of a bravado energy rather than actual courage, right? It's more like fake it till you make it. But, and I know it's a very famous proverb. Trust me, I've done it myself more times than I can count in life. But if we're digging deeper, and since this is a spiritual path kind of reading, then I couldn't help myself. If we're digging deeper, then we'll see that that's still energy of fear or some kind of immature energy, when we don't feel like we have enough information or knowledge or experience, right? And we're kind of like acting as if, but it's not authentic. It's not really, it's not going to get you as far as you want. And that's why we have the Knight here. The Knight, of course, is still growth from the Page, but It's not the king, for example, right? It's not the emperor either. So this is still a developing story, a developing energy. And again, this can go into a more egotistical energy where you'd be kind of like stepping over people or manipulating the situation to get to where you want to get. And that could be strength card too, by the way, in its shadow mode. Or you can grow towards showing real courage and being open and sincere about where you are, but also that you're ready to progress, to step into the unknown, and to walk or run or ride towards your passion and towards the success, whatever it is. And it doesn't have to be actual work, by the way. It can be a hobby, it can be some kind of a personal passion of yours, but it's still gonna count. It's still gonna be displayed in this part of the reading, let's put it that way, right? But again, crossroads, and again, your decision will be needed on how you want to tackle it. Okay, I'm just gonna leave it here. How you're gonna tackle it, and whether which way basically you're gonna choose. I would say the path of an ego might sound like an easier option, right? Like you're gonna get to your end goal faster. But obviously there's always price to pay. And there's always, in this kind of choices, like the more you are caught in the corners or trying to, find a loophole, the more of negative karma you're creating for yourself that you'll still need to work through at some point. It's like, if you're taking more from your credit account and you're like, oh great, I can do so much, but then obviously down the line you'll have a lot more to repay, and not just by that amount, but more, because there's also interest. There could be other fees as well, right? So up to you to decide how much you want to spend, how you want to deal with it. And finally, with the advice, 9 of Cups, 4 of Swords, and High Priestess. All of these are telling me that it's very important to focus on what you want, what your inner desire is, and meditation and mindfulness practices will be your friends here. All of these cards essentially are about inner work, about personal growth, about diving deeper and listening to yourself on where you are now, can you bring more of the inner peace to your life, and what is it exactly that you want. Not just like, yes, I want to be happy and healthy, that's good, but what does happy mean to you? Healthy could also arguably mean different things to different people if you think about it, right? So be more clear, and also notice the signs and the details around you. They will be big clues to you, so you don't really have to second guess yourself. All right, that was decisive. We got 3 cards for you, Virgo. Heart was a key, welcoming love, opening your heart, getting together. Yep, that's that first part we saw. Then we have the Chaser, codependent relationship, abandonment issue. Yep, that's the other option. And the Butterfly, relationship evolving to the next phase, healing the inner child, growth. Yeah, to me this is that next level, like taking relationship to the next level, making it serious. If you don't have anybody on your mind, this is just generally you being much more serious when it comes to looking for a life partner or deciding on whether a specific person could be a candidate for a life partner, right? Like you're looking at it with more experienced eyes, with more depth. This is what's important to you. And I would say, especially if you don't have anybody right now on your mind, or you're healing from past situations, it's really important to do that healing, to do that inner work, and from that to understand better what is it that you want, not what you don't want, but what you want. It may sound like it's kind of clear, right? If I know what I don't want, then it's obvious what I want, but it's not exactly like that. So it's important to, even if you can write it down for yourself. It's really gonna help, because when we are only thinking in our head and we're not talking it, we're not putting it down, it's kind of a different format, very different format. And you'd be surprised if you compare how many more details you add when you talk and when you write down, right? Because then you're expressing this, and it needs context, it needs more information so it makes sense. And that's very important in your situation right now, Virgo. Okay, I'm gonna leave it here. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys. If you like what I'm doing, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel. And of course, leave comments if you want a free personal reading. And until next time, bye.